Take two. What's going on, everybody?
Jinx, I was just saying take two. That's crazy.
We're
guys?
live behind the scenes. What is
For a
going
whole-
on, everyone?
Yeah, episode 44. We talked for 3 minutes with our buddy Brad Van 160 here, and we were starting going over his build before we realized we weren't live, and so I did the intro and all that stuff, and I never did go live. But so what's going on, everybody? Brad Van, what's going on, man? What's going on, guys? We're taking so we're gonna talk about his stereo tonight, his Tahoe. We brought him in on, and gonna go over his stuff and then shoot the breeze for an hour. What's happening, fellas?
Absolutely,
What's up, man? Can you hear us, Brad?
I think we went better the first time go around, but hey, it's all good, man. Brad
Yeah,
Van
it's whatever.
160, nice to meet you, man. And I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked you before. 160 in your name. What kind of system you got, bro?
I don't think you can hear us actually. Yeah, actually. So
no.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull up his.
I don't know sign language yet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're not. You're muted, not us. I don't think you're muted.
I'm gonna edit his mic settings.
It was just working a minute ago. It's not crazy. So he's got a pretty crazy no wall that's got a obviously does 160 plus. The you might want to just try backing out and coming back in, Brad.
The people will never believe us, but we were doing so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, our first live was definitely better than this one. It's okay.
The boom, boom, boom.
It's
I'm
live.
on Facebook actually. Yes, I
That's
know.
beautiful.
It's failing for life. Oh yeah, it's while we had the screen open. Boom.
I love that wrap job. I want to do something like that eventually. I think that's so cool. Just in time.
You're so cool.
That's nice.
I told him the same thing. I'm gonna do the same thing on the excursion. I'm gonna wrap it and do the big sundown on there. Yeah, we can't hear you, bro. Yeah, we can't hear you. That's kind of crazy.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I know. It was just working a minute ago. Rob, what's happening?
We've been talking
guys?
like 20 minutes now. What up, Rob?
We
Hey.
can't hear you, bro. Yeah, sorry. This is just awkward.
Can you
now.
hear us? Go like this if you can hear us. Can you hear us?
Nope.
Neither.
Nope.
All right. Tell yeah.
I messaged him on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot
This
him
is
a message.
the
It's
James
live,
Simpson
folks.
episode.
Yeah, this is how live streams go, guys. So
We'll have to get James Simpson back in too.
Yeah, one day. Oh my goodness
Got a
gracious.
lot of people.
Brad,
up
we
in
can't
here.
hear you, bro. We can't hear you, Brad. Yeah. Like,
Wait.
oh, can we hear you now? I don't think we can still. No, dude. Yeah, hop out of the hop. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious.
Here, I'll boot him.
I kicked
Okay.
it. Yeah. So
You got
hopefully
it.
hop back
Cool.
in. What's happening, Vega? We had a guest. I took and messed up, and we were talking for 3 minutes, not live, and we restarted it, and the guest had no audio. But so we're gonna bring back up his truck. But actually, before we get him back in, tell me about this, dude. This is a dope kicker shirt you got on.
I
man.
want the
You know,
shirt,
I'm
dude.
Yeah, thank you,
I'm mad. I'm literally
Kicker.com,
angry.
man. Check it out, dude. It's
No way.
brand new. It's the 49 version, so 2022. This is like the brand new stuff. It's awesome. I just got it today. I was like, I gotta throw it on. I got a
Do they have
couple
a
clothes
4X?
because it's like I'd rather buy kicker merchandise than go to like Walmart or Kohl's and buy some shirts. You know what I mean? I might as well. And yeah, this one's really cool. I like it. It's actually brown. It's actually a very light brown. It looks black. But that's one thing I
I
didn't
got you
realize.
guys.
But it's that retro
Yes.
looking. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Perfect. We got that one paused.
All right,
Boom.
we can
Brad,
hear
man.
him now. Okay.
We're back
Sorry.
in it, fellas.
Awesome.
Yo.
So, yeah, so we covered. Obviously, you heard that obviously we messed up and we weren't live, but we're talking about your build to begin with. So what's happening, Brad? Van taking you got a badass truck. What's going on with it? There's no wall. You do mecha, all kinds of stuff. What's up?
Thank you, Scott. So yeah, it's 2004 Yukon XL. It's 12 ZV515s and a no wall on 33 base 30Ks.
I think I had a picture of the 30Ks right here. Look at that. It's insane, dude. Boom, 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 boom. So you're in a no wall truck. You liking the no wall life, or what's going on with that, man? That's a ton of cone area too.
I absolutely love it. That no wall life is the life for me.
Let's see. How
That's
long have
awesome.
you had this truck together? Yeah. So you got these 15s or something like that, or 12 15s?
It's a dozen 15s last year. I'm hoping to stuff 15 15s this year on 5 30Ks.
Man, I don't know where you're gonna cram the more subs at, dude. You're gonna do like the folded flat wall stuff, or not? Where you put the sub firing forward to the bottom and stuff too, or no?
No, it's going to stay no wall. We have an idea that we are pretty sure it's going to work, but the proof's in the pudding.
Heck yeah, that's gonna be insane, man. So you probably have to change the port quite a bit, I'm assuming, or take and rearrange some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had, even last year we had several different ports and did find gains.
Oh wow, nice. So this thing does 60s on no wall and music. I think, I mean, obviously it looks like it would do 60s. It's a ton of subs and cone area there. But on the same note, I bet you like the meter doesn't do justice because it's no wall. I bet you it's a lot more impressive in person than the meter even lets on.
Yeah, she demos pretty well. It's an impressive demo. Obviously a large cabin volume.
I was gonna say, I think I definitely seen this build before.
We've got a video of it queued up ready too. And trust me, I know about the large cabin live. That's the reason I went ahead, because I wanted to keep my back seat. That was the thing with mine. Like, I really wanted to do the 5 people demos. And dude, in my truck, I just fought to get above 145 dB, man. I'm telling you. Now I know I've seen, like big no wall setups getting 50s in an excursion, but dude, that keeping that third, behind the second row seat, it was just a fight of getting, to 145 plus. So like wall.
Yeah, in 2020, I had 4 seat demos. I was running 4 18 nightshades on a pair of 30Ks, and I just couldn't quite get to 60 with that big cabin volume, but pretty close. It was a lot of fun.
32 hertz too. Ooh. Let me see something here. Okay, yeah, it's definitely it's his mic echoing everything. I just don't even want to mess with it.
That's fine. We're not going to.
Yeah.
Woo. That's insane.
Look at the dash.
Oh, they look like they're wired out of phase. No.
That's just gonna be the camera. Yeah. That's insane.
That is. How much are you clamping out of that?
I've got several different tunes, a demo tune and then a bird tune. I've clamped as much as about 70,000 out of the 3 of you.
Woo.
That's still a boatload of power, dude. Even for that many subs, that's a boatload of power, man.
Right.
And what
So
does your
did you-
electrical look like? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Andy.
No, you're good.
Last year's build was 285 amp hours of CMAX at 15.9 to 16.2.
Whew.
So obviously we're adding a little bit more CMAX this year with going with 2 more 30Ks.
That's
Damn.
insane,
Nice.
man.
Anytime
So-
I see people clamp big numbers, it's like off C-Max or like a pouch set like that. So I was like, fuck it. And I just went ahead and ordered some. How do
need
you
that
like
real
the C-Max
high
so far,
density.
Brandon? Tell me everything about C-Max. I want to know everything.
So I don't have a lot of experience with the other chemistries because when I switched from AGM to CMAX, I've really never looked back. It has all the depth and burst power that anyone could ever ask for. I mean, obviously, if it's running these bad boys,
It's valid. It's a lot of current draw.
it is
Yeah.
a ton. There are miles of welding cable to carry all that current and support everything. Basically the weak link in the system are the amps when we push them hard.
Well, it just
insane.
means you need a bigger amp, that's all. Or bigger
Or
amps.
more of them, a couple more spares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had good luck with the 30Ks? I really don't know that many people that run the base 30Ks. They've been good amps for you?
They've been pretty good for me. The return on investment for me is a big plus because, well, just so everybody knows, this build didn't happen overnight. It's been an evolution of a couple years to get this big.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, I'm very satisfied with tower amps, especially for the value and the power output. I'm very, very lucky that only about an hour away from me, the GOAT, in my opinion, Kevin Kruger, our amp repair guy up here in Michigan, has just been
Dude, that's
fantastic.
great work.
I've heard good things about him. I mess with Kevin Mansky, but I've heard of Kevin Kruger. Yeah, he is a big guy.
Super down to earth guy and legit low pro genius.
Nice.
Yeah, man. In all reality, it makes a difference having a good repair guy. I always use the GNS, but I mean, the only time I ever had to have amps repaired though was old school Rockford stuff, and he's bought in bulk of like old school components when they sold stock and stuff like that. So he's like on the vintage RF stuff, he's like the guy to go to.
Yeah, I like. Speaking of Kevin, I like his daily updates where there's like little strands of wire inside the amp, like shorting things out.
Oh yeah, never forget. Reminder: it doesn't take much. There's 10,000 things that can go wrong inside that amplifier, and it only takes one mistake.
Yeah, for sure. And that's even the longer I've been in car audio, the more and more you'll see amp failures literally just from tiny pieces of copper wire, dude. I mean, like it seems like it's quite often, and dude, it makes me be meticulous. Like I'm terrified to have open wires, even cut ones around the back sides of my amplifier. I'm like, dude, I don't even want that near it. I don't even want to get frayed wire on the carpet behind it because that fan blow and suck it in or something like that.
Yep.
But just use ferrules. Everybody use ferrules.
Oh yeah, definitely ferrules.
What's a ferrule?
I'll tell you when you're older.
What's a fuse?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm no fuse gang on the amplifiers, but I am fused under hood at the alternator, at the front of the battery, at the rear, and then. But yeah,
absolutely everywhere else. We see the sad story of people's car burning to the ground, and unfortunately, it can happen to any one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to be diligent to make sure that we've got an ABC fire extinguisher at hand, ready to go, and even a backup one, because you might grab that first one and nothing come out of it if it's over a year old.
Sure. Yeah, I personally keep one in the bottom of my center console. There's one behind the second row seat, and one at the amplifier in the back. And
all you need is wire cutters. That's what you need. Just big wire cutters.
I tell a lot of guys, they ask me about running the salt above below 1 which I'm only at 0.7, and then 2 about the no fuse gang, and I'm like, hey, A, I have a really good warranty department. B, the PCB board on the 12K is a very good fuse itself. So if it can burn something through that, then it'd be fine. No, I'll be good as long as the truck doesn't catch fire while I'm not around it. That's the only thing I would say.
I just have like one 3-year-old fire extinguisher. I need to replace that.
He got the fire
extinguisher.
Yeah. They came and put new ones in his shop. And Casey's like, "What are you gonna do with those?"
I got it at AutoZone like almost 3 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it was probably 3 years old at that point.
I've been on the shelf. The
True.
Yeah, Casey, I advise you definitely want to test it. There is a video floating out there on the internet somewhere where at World Finals last year, I had already done all my runs for Mecca, and I was up against the Ice Cream Van, and he does a 69. So I was just trying to get a personal best, and I went 2 clicks up on the head unit and did catch one of these tower amps on fire. Totally my fault, though. But that's what we do, when we use the term "send it."
Yeah.
When else would you send it that would be more epic than at finals?
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Yeah. And that's what we joke about all the time, whether it be Joe and popping windshield and stuff like that. You're like, dude, I know we're having fun beating on it right now, but don't send a windshield right now, dude. We're on the highway right now. Nobody's around. It's not on video. Popping $400 on a windshield right now is just not fun. And it's like, shit. But like, we're at the show. Send it, dude.
Yeah, you got to drive back with goggles on because you have no windshield.
Hey, we got lucky for the beans. Joe just took and picked up a sweet tow rig. It's like a 2007 or 2006 Suburban or something like that, like a 2500. We're gonna start tow pigging with it, dude. Just try to pull the trucks. Yeah.
Nice.
At least
you're gonna pull 2 off of that.
Maybe at least on
Is
one.
Is it a diesel?
Yeah, well, it's got the big block motor in it. Yeah, it's the 2500 chassis.
So I'm gonna tow 2 10,000-pound trucks with a 6,000 pound trailer, Scott.
Maybe at least one at a time. It can pull one or the other trucks though. So like, you can
for sure.
Exactly.
It's probably going to turn into a base rig.
I was going to ask Brad, since he does Mecca, what class do you do? Do you do street or modified street?
So no wall. I'm modified street 4 to be specific. It's the unlimited power class.
Right.
Also DB5, which is our park and pound, our music class, 30-second music average. metered 6 foot away from the passenger side front door.
What are you getting with that? Like 135s, 137s?
Last year my best was like a 137.5.
Ooh, good.
Yeah, I was bragging on you right before you came in here, Andy. So it was funny. I was like, yeah, because he was talking about judging mecha and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get like Andy, where you can just see a vehicle and be like, yeah, that's like right around that, on everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome,
So-
man. Those no walls are good for park and pound too, because you're utilizing a lot more vehicle. In a way, you really are. At least for that, and you're clamping a crap ton of power, man. You're up there with the big guys, man. That's awesome. I think what was it, 139, 140 last year or something like that. I know there was a 142, but
at Worlds, Tim Cole won it. I took second in park and pound, but there are
Nice.
vehicles that can do 140. Curtis Eigensee's one of them, and Ray Masteus has already posted a 140 plus park and pound this year.
it's just insane, really.
So- That class is going to be very exciting come finals this year.
It's growing too, man. That's one thing. It's been crazy to see, and I know it's the more we've gotten into it. Obviously, you've been here for quite some time. It seems like it grows, but I feel like in the last 2 to 3 years, especially post-COVID, man, the car audio scene is booming right now, dude. And well, car culture as a period. Like we went to an import meet last night, which honestly, guys, we've got to do more than that. Okay, so going to a base show is cool. Going to an import car meet where you're the only base vehicle there and you're allowed to be basing, that was the bee's knees, dude. Because like you're the only base head there, so it was like, oh my god, like yeah,
Lots of virgins there are like, what is that?
yeah, exactly. Believe it or not, but it's cool too because like the drift scene culture guys, like a lot of it overlap as far as like the modifying stuff. So like there was an insane amount of people that were just overly interested in the alternator setups and how the wiring was done, the battery setups, running lithium, all that stuff. All this stuff overlaps in the race cars and stuff like that too. Whether it be the wiring and stuff like that. Obviously not on the same scale, but they're like, wow, I really respect that. That's insane. I've never seen quad alternators stuff like that. Like I've never. But it's cool to be able to share that
Right.
with you too.
It's like, you got that turbo? Look at this.
Yeah.
Cars, coffee, and cone travel.
That's why I like this one show, because I have another show. I just, I know you guys went to a show recently, and I just went to a show last week, and I got another show next weekend, and it's like you said, at a car show. Like this is like those lowered cars, it's called Flood City Car Crew, and they like the bass. So I bring the bass, and like you said, you're giving those demos, and people they just enjoy it a little bit more because it's something that they don't really see. They're used to that 2-step pa 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 pa, not the bass that what we do. They're used to those 2 kicker comps in the trunk, and that's about it.
Oh, sure. It was kind of funny too. Like there was one other subwoofer there, and I don't know if he's watching that, Miles Gunther. And he has his subwoofer, and I don't even know what it was, some random speaker he put on a low pass, but it's like inside of a milk crate with a freaking Natty light box on top of it. That was the only other subwoofer there. And you couldn't even tell it was a subwoofer, dude. Yeah.
That's some competition, though, man.
Yeah.
That's
If you look in the back of his wagon, it's like a TE old 80s Corolla wagon and slammed all that stuff. If you look in the back of it, it looks like there's a Natty light box. He's got a tiny sub stashed in it. That's the only other subwoofer that Corolla was.
Was the
That's
milk carton
hilarious.
box like the first chamber, and then the Natty Ice box,
No.
the second chamber? Was it like fourth order or
It was
something?
like a small box with that little thing on top of it.
I can't. That's
Yeah.
funny. Hey, people do that. And one thing you do see at the car scene, too, is people with speakers in tires. Like, literally, for, like, their spare tire, they'll put it in there, and it kind of works, It's not...
Yeah, I like it. I've installed some of those.
Yeah, dude, it's really common, especially in the 80s, like old F bodies and stuff like that, dude. They'd be doing it in the rear tunnel areas, stuff like that. You do, yeah. I feel like, I grew up, in the 90s in car audio as a kid, though. But there was I feel like 80s and 90s installs until you get into the competitor side was more about like how much audio can I cram in this car and freaking hide it, make it look like it's not even there for the most part. So like, because a lot of people were, worried about getting their shit stolen and all that stuff. But,
Dude, I still have that mentality. I like just hidden stuff. I don't know. I like the stock plus look.
Stealth.
Like the unassuming. Yeah, like Brad's truck is unassuming until he like rolls a window down.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's just an old Yukon XL with the window taped up. We see that all the time in Atlanta.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, wah, wah. You're like, oh shit.
Well,
Guys.
even like,
Imagine
There's
that
nothing
140
funner
plus parking
than
pounds like
someone
right in
demo
traffic.
who's Never experienced bass. There's
Oh, yeah,
nothing
you're
funner.
pissing people off with that kind of build, Well, Scott, or well, I know you, Casey just a tad, a little bit louder. Someone asked Casey, "What do you park and pound at? Have you ever done park and pound?"
I haven't done it.
Yeah, you guys got to do it.
Shit, we
That's
need to do
that's,
that.
that's real street cred stuff, you know. Your
Scott's
park
is
and
gonna be
pound is
loud.
what you're hearing outside the car, man. Especially giving demos and stuff. So
I hear Scott like 2 minutes before he's home, and then I can hear when he turns it down, and then it's still a solid like 30 seconds to a minute before he pulls in. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah.
You can hear the door slapping from like, I don't know.
He plays
like,
a little bit
mile away.
higher than you too, and I noticed with systems that peak a little bit higher, they just sound naturally louder. The bass just travels farther, easier compared to a low sounding system or a low frequency.
Yeah.
We've talked about before. Mine rolls off pretty hard, like 20 and below, and then it's like super strong, like 20 to 29. Right around 30, it drops off, and then it picks back up around 40, and then it gets super strong to about 50. And then, but I like it. It's fine.
Right. That's awesome. I got a nice demo of a C pillar C-pillar build. It had like 812s and like 20,000 watts. It reminded me something of yours, Scott. It was nice. And his didn't do that great on the meter. It was like a 153 for how much power he was clamping, but he was giving 5-person demos. It sounded good. It dipped down to literally like 10 hertz. Like it got every single note it could. And I was like, "Ooh, this is nice. I can't wait to hear Scott's. It's gonna sound just like it."
I can play below 20 hertz. I just can't do it with the doors open and all that stuff. So I got to start like closing a door, rolling a windows up,
Right.
have one window down. I can't just go from like a 20 to 29 hertz song and then play 17 hertz with my front doors open and stuff like that.
Yeah, he had his front windows open, and it was kind of getting down to it, but it wasn't unloading. I was like, damn. But there were 4-inch coil 12s. These things just wanted more power too. So it was a demo build. That's what
I've
it was.
never bottomed mine out. Actually, I don't even know if you can really, but it just drops off where the natural roll off of it.
Right.
So we don't want to go on that too bad. Brad, how did you get into judging mechas and all that jazz? So you went from competitor to the judge side.
Oh.
Well, I was blessed and honored to have been able to meet Bud and Shannon Ballinger down at Soundcheck a few years ago, and they treated me and my girlfriend like we were family, and that was part of the mecha experience for me. And here come right before finals last year, I was asked to take the position in the lead in Michigan, and thought about it for a while and wanted to make sure I could give it my full commitment, and then told them that was something I was willing to commit to. And the amount of support I've got up here in the bass community in the Midwest has just been off the charts, and it's kind of hard to describe how it feels to have the kind of support that I've got up here. And I've got a great staff of judge team members and support from the surrounding states. So we just had a big show this last weekend called Sound Solutions 4.0 with one of our retail affiliates up here in Michigan. It was a great success. And next weekend, we got the big show in Cassopolis, Michigan, with 5 organizations being represented.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That'd
Yes.
be cool. And I like it when they do those things. Like when Casey and I went to Seaport Show, not Seaport, the one before that, Dublin or whatever it was. They had like 5, different competitors in lanes taken in just right after another. So we just went like boop, 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 down. And,
1, 2, 3, and at the third one, we looked over and the tent was like 30 feet in the air. We're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Was this
Let's go back.
Slamology? No.
Yeah.
First year I went to
Oh, my
Slam,
God.
the tents were flying, man. It was like a tornado. I swear to God, it was
That day
crazy.
some tent flew. Their
Scarred.
tent flew over there. Casey's tent flew and smacked Joe's truck and put a big old ding in it. But
That's awesome though, man. And taking over as the head mecha judge of the state, it's a lot of responsibility. I was literally gonna do it, and it's just I have way too much on my hands, and I would have to travel everywhere across the state, and different states too. It's a job in itself, and just running any kind of organization, let alone mecha. But you have Shannon and Bud to help you out, man. And I'm sad to see Steve go, but times for some changing. You know what I mean? And it just more. It seems like more energy is being put into it, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
That's wonderful. Thank you for saying so. Steve will always be a legend. And the
Absolutely.
legacy that he built with Mecca is going to continue to grow with Bud and Shannon Ballinger. Couldn't be in better hands.
that's awesome, man. I think you guys are gonna keep growing with it, man. I'm excited to see it, and again, like I'm excited to go run it too. So I guess we'll probably see you guys at Slamology. You were saying, so I'm gonna get a demo of your thing. I'm much trying to see what we put up too.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be sick. We're gonna get Andy there. I'm just gonna run up and give you a big old hug, buddy. We're just gonna be like, run
Yeah.
and jump into each other, bro. Hopefully we don't
100%.
trip. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
We're covered in sweat already, just dripping with sweat. You know, just,
Yeah.
fluids
I'll
are
be
gonna
in the corner
smash.
just crying.
Why
with
are
the
we in
donut.
slow mo?
Yeah.
I'm so
We're
happy.
gonna, we're gonna be walking through the vendor area. We're just gonna make eye contact from across the way. Oh my god!
What is
God,
it?
I think, the opportunity to do one of these podcasts the evening after Slam, maybe to report on the goings on and who's hot and what's going on.
We might be doing that, man, for sure. I think it'd be a good idea, especially because we got an Airbnb. Obviously, they'll probably have Wi-Fi. We'll probably, have phones and, Casey on a laptop. I have a laptop and stuff like that. I don't see why we couldn't do a live on that. And I feel like,
100%.
they did who was it? Freaking the Sundown After Dark one. Y'all did the one at the bar and all that stuff too, and it was super popular.
Yep.
So I mean, like, might as well
It was
do
super
it, bro.
fun.
Ah,
Yeah.
just let me
Dude.
know. Let me know.
We're gonna be lit up that night though. If we do it Saturday night, we're all gonna be like,
Casey's gonna Casey's
have
gonna
a
miss
giant
the second
pizza, maybe some White Castle. We'll see.
I'm not doing that again, dude. I'm not doing that. I mean, the
day.
pizza was
Do
good.
that again.
I'm not, dude. They ordered like
The White Castle was so bad.
4 cases of White Castle, dude. I mean, like, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And that was like,
I thought it would be enough. I don't know. It was too much.
Armando Walker went home with a whole case of cold refrigerated overnight Crystal or White Castle and ate them on the way home, dude. I was like, there's no way, dude. No way I could do that. I would
Like refrigerator cold.
But the
I can't even.
yeah. That was a good dude. Slamology was great this last year, though. Again, I thought I was gonna die towing Jordan's walled-off Explorers with my truck.
Yeah, I heard
I'm
about
gonna try
that.
to keep subs in there. Yeah. I'll try to
I'm
keep
just-
subs together for the show, so I give more demos.
I still
Dude,
got to
Joe.
order my darn ticket, and I got to get my car
I haven't done mine
inspected,
yet
too.
either. I haven't done mine yet as far as for the Slamology, but gotta do it now. Yeah, I gotta get it worked out with Joe. I don't think Joe's gonna be able to make it. He's got some prior commitments and do that week. Yeah, so we're
Prior
gonna-
commitments. What's more better than Slamology? Come on.
there's other stuff going on. We'll
This
see
is
if he
also
can make
true.
it. So
Yeah.
it takes, and it's one of those things. So it kind of changed our plans, which we weren't planning on getting a vendor booth to begin with, but we're going out there and giving demos and see where we can get around and taking the show off. Trying to see if we
Heck
can
yeah,
get Joe up there.
Yeah, that'll definitely get your foot even more in the door, more with the consumer rather than the manufacturer, because you guys are already pretty locked in with manufacturers, Sundown,
Oh, sure.
and
XS Power and
Spark
Skyhawk
Innovation
Audio.
and XS. Yeah,
We've getting things worked out with Spark. We're growing. Like they're in their foot in the door, stuff like that. Obviously, we've got the connection there. It's just one of those things you can't just go out and do buy-ins on 50 billion companies that carry everyone's product. You got to grow, stack up some stuff, and then you grow. But
Right.
yeah, so we got XS Power and Sky High now signed on. It's been growing and it's been sundown, but it's
nice.
beautiful adventure. And we weren't planning on getting a vendor booth while we were there. I don't feel like it's needed. There's gonna be a bunch of other companies there selling the same stuff, sundown stuff like that. We just want to go get the name out, the reputation, give demos. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's the place to do it, because that's going to be your clientele, really.
Sure.
I'm just
Big-
going to
big
have a good
chunk,
time,
big
man.
chunk.
I'm going to
Yeah,
smash
absolutely.
loads and give
Mhm.
demos. Go
And
meet
see all the
Brad, get a
homies.
demo from
Yeah.
his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
More
was
than
like
anything, just to see all our friends in person and get that base head fellowship.
No, for sure.
Right.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I just said. Like, see all the homies, bro. And there's so many people too. There's people that I thought that I did not like Drew Jones until I met him at Slamology. Okay, because how sometimes
He's the
people
nicest guy, dude.
Yeah.
I
So
can understand.
I
Yeah.
walked up to him. I was like, "You want to get a demo of this truck you were talking crap about, bro?" He's like, "I wasn't talking crap." And I was like, he's like, "Of course I want a demo." And we were just great buddies since then. So it was like, and obviously I wasn't like mean to him or like come up to him hateful or like that. I was like, "Hey, bro, you want a demo of my truck? You talk smack on, I just want to bang on." He's like, "Oh, F yeah, I want a demo, bro." So,
I think that's something that a lot of people in the boards and the groups that don't realize. We've got a lot more in common with each other than we do differences.
mhm.
Right. We're all on the same team at the end of the day,
Yeah,
We're
love
all
music.
doing car audio, and sometimes we
music.
get paid for it, sometimes we just do it for passion, and both.
And obviously we have a similar taste in music because like 3 songs get played at Slamology the whole time. That's it.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know.
No, I'm
no
kidding,
one
yeah.
knows
Yeah.
what it's like.
And you're like, "Oh my god, that's what it is."
God. Or
That song
Astronaut in the
slaps, though.
Ocean.
It slaps.
Dude, if
Come
I
on.
hear Astronaut in the Ocean one more time, I might freak out. I don't even know what I'll do. I
It
can't
needs
do
to be
it.
like a guitar shop.
I
How it
can't.
has like no Stairway to Heaven. You have to have like no demo song list. Like this has to be taken off your playlist. Yeah, I don't want to hear. I
They
fall
have like
apart.
people coming around. They're all wearing sunglasses and like jackets, and they're just like, "Shut it down."
Yeah, it's like
Just shut it down. Click the earpiece.
It's almost like you're at a show playing vulgar music around kids. Like, not around here, bro. We're not doing that.
If you play Astronaut in the Ocean, you get your tires popped.
They just reach in your truck and turn it off. They just reach in there. Nope.
Just uninstall your radio.
Yeah.
Like, you get this back when you were more responsible, bud.
The intro to the song plays on accident. You're like, no, dude, I didn't mean it, bro. I swear to God. I was skipping this one, I swear.
You have 3 different versions of it at different frequencies.
That's
like,
what we were in Joe's truck last night, and somehow he had like 50 versions of the same Juicy J song. It was like this, it was like,
Every frequency. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
it was slower or faster, and I was like, damn it, man. I was like, how many versions of Bounce It do you have, dude? It was like,
Well, he changes his system all the time. He wants to be able to play that song at every frequency. Doesn't matter. So I mean, it's kind of smart, but when you're trying to give a demo, it's like, which one was it again?
It's real. I was joking. So he just got the new Rusticles pack, so it had all on the same thing or what everybody else.
Yeah, that's the only thing with those rebased packs, right? You kind of have to organize it a little bit, because if you don't, you're just sitting there half the time. In that time, you could be just giving a demo. Person sitting in your car sweating to death because you don't have AC or whatever the situation is, and it's like, well, hold on, let me get the song. So I feel like that's half the reason too why people play the same song. They probably find one that works and they're like, okay, well, that works, and I'm still trying to find other songs. I do the same thing, but now I don't daily my car with that system, so it's kind of hard to find more songs that work rather than just looking for the numbers. Because the numbers, they lie sometimes. They're not, it'll be like, 17 to like 56, and it's mostly 45 and up, and it's like there's that one low note. It just totally ruins it if your system can't play that low. And you have to play it to learn it. And it's just, I that's why I took mine and put it on my iPhone, and then I can make playlists with it on my iPhone rather than on a USB drive, which is a lot harder. I don't know if humans can do that and rewrite that, so, right.
Yeah. I use an iPad now.
Yeah.
I have everything organized on it. Yeah. And then I can record with my phone.
Valid too. Right, that's the thing. I need another Android source just so I can take in record with my phone. People, there's the controversy on the artists and the apps and stuff right now, but I take in I like the Rusticles app, dude. I have a favorites list on it, and I just going through it pretty much, dude. You have them lined up.
That's what's nice about that. I feel like the best benefit is to just pay the whole kit and caboodle to get everything gold, platinum, or whatever it is. And you pay it once, and then that's it, right? It's just one time, or is it once a year?
Well, I bought the one time. So
one time.
It depends.
That's the way to do it.
I had the yearly. Mine expired.
Sucker. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Yeah.
What have you been playing, Brad? So you have like a go-to app or anything you've queued up?
Yeah, I can identify with what you're saying there. That I have found that when we travel, we'll play through the USBs and kind of make a list of our favorites, and then put them in its own file and try to put that at the top of the USB. But there's also this thing, especially with me, everybody's expecting to hear, we're the song by Lord Royals. That's the one that video you guys put on there that Down for Sound shared it for me, and there's an expectation everybody wants to hear that. It's got the subsonic and the 20 and 22 hertz, and it's a real banger.
Oh, sure. And I'm just giving a hard time. We all have our go-to demo songs. Like, dude, I found some of the last ones on the Rusticles app. Some like, believe it or not, there's a ZZ Top, Bad the Bone, freaking 20 hertz smashes, bro. And that drew a freaking crowd, bro. I'm not even.
It was so funny, dude. I've never seen anything like it.
People just flooded to it with ZZ Top. Michael Jackson Thriller with 20 to 29. People just flooded to the car with Michael Jackson blaring, dude. You're like, we'll play it, dude.
Yeah. I wanted to say, speaking of like 20s and 29s, I got to demo my car a little bit more. I gave her more beans. I still don't have an alternator, so this is all battery power right now, but I gave it to her. And honestly, I think it's tuned a hair higher. I tried 13 hertz, and it just didn't get it like it used to, but who wants to play 13 hertz?
Who's playing 13 hertz, ain't it?
Me?
Right.
What?
It's still got the 16, 17 hertz, really good. It was moving hair. That's the video that you saw. But then I played with it more, and I'm like, man, I can get 18. I can get 20 a lot better, or 23. It has better control just by changing whatever I did. And it's like, that's all I wanted to do. If I'm going to change it just a little bit, still be able to do what I could. And I haven't metered it yet, but I don't have an alternator, so I'm not metered until I have the alternator hooked up. There's no point. Get a couple extra watts there. I need every watt.
Yeah.
125 dB
So
That's the
this
parking
one's pretty
panel, right?
old.
Or that the first one?
But this is, what I try to tell everyone who comes and does a test and tune session with me on the Term Lab. Get a notebook and write in it every time you play with your truck, every time you change something, every time you go to a show, every time you get an idea, put it in your book and keep it in your truck.
Yep.
It's a good idea. Just throw it in a center console,
Yeah.
a love box, something like that.
Yeah.
Again, and that's one thing too that I've never really played with much is like like I did the last show we went to. I never did a test on my system. I wasn't gonna pay like we were talking about earlier for an extra burp, so I just burped 40 hertz, and it did what it did. So like another thing too, like as we've talked about in other episodes, are pretty common knowledge of playing with seat adjustment, your rear view mirrors or the fold down, the sun visor, stuff like that. And if you can get some tints, if not a DB or so, a lot of times playing with stuff. And I know you probably see a lot of that, Andy, and same thing you've read.
Absolutely.
A lot of games that people don't even know they have that really don't cost any money. It just takes an idea and an attempt and a test.
For sure. I think the biggest thing with mine's big blocker is how huge the seats are. Like beforehand, I could take it like lay them down, but it's like a huge, solid leather barrier between the windshield area and the where your meter at. But it's not so bad. I wonder how much Lily Chu was thinking about, guys. How much when you get into these I'm not saying like it's not just the sub to do it. What are we seeing when you've got guys with big A-pillar and door setups as far as that affecting the meter, especially on music runs and stuff like that, the decibel output they're doing? If they have some crazy door setup, that can be some super high decibel ratings, especially in music applications. But I guess after further thought, it was like, hey, that's probably why it's accounted for it in the class it's in. But it was something I didn't really think about that much, was the door setups going in those.
I know you can only build out so far to stay in certain wall classes if like what you call it. I forget how far out it is. He's got the real books. I got 21. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely.
The Bible.
Yeah, the Bible. I got mine over there somewhere. There's a lot in there that you don't realize, but a lot of it does make sense with everything. And they try to make it as fair as you can with what we do.
Sure.
I do think the build out and certain things like on your dash where people might put sound dampening on just to make it look cool, well, it throws them into an extreme class. And it's like, well, that's just because their dash is falling apart and replace their whatever. But, oh, no, it throws you into another class. So if you're going to compete, you kind of got to know going into it that this is a competition car and I got to go to the book.
Sure. and it's to each their own on that, in which, again, it's everyone's like it. I personally am never going to build a vehicle that competes in a specific class. Now, again, like I'm not saying I'm not going to compete in classes. I'm going to do other organizations and leagues. But me to be like, I know a lot of guys like, man, I want to do this one league, this one organization, this one class, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's like, man, what if you go to a show that your organization isn't there or something like that, or something, like you're just sticking yourself in a different league or something like that.
Let the chips fall where they may. Go and get in the lanes and have a blast.
Sure.
That's the only thing people, because they come to my lane, they're like, well, I don't know what class I'm in. I'm like, well, I kind of particulated around Mecca in a way, but just a little bit less restrictive in some ways. But that's the thing, when first time I went to NADBL and I'm like, what is this? I don't know what to do, and they're like, well, we got this, we got that, we got a 3-minute average. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can try that. And it's nice going to different organizations, but if you are a competitor for SPL and you want to win, you stay for that one class and that is it. Because if you try doing everything, you ain't going to win. You'll do good.
I'd love
you
to
ain't gonna
speak
win.
on that subject for a second, if I may.
Go for it.
So, I play music. My truck is my truck. It's I built it the way I want to go and have fun with it, to be able to, go and give good demos and have a blast with it, but still put up good numbers and be competitive in the competitive world. The tenured guys that have been competing for years, they started, to build for a specific class, and it's hard to be competitive with those guys, with what we call the Burt boxes.
Yep.
But man, really, it's more than anything. My first year, I was just like, whatever. This is my, learning curve to go and make mistakes and really learn from those mistakes. Really just have fun with it. And this thought of, well, you're either a competition Burt guy or you're a demo guy. That's really not the case. And I'd like to, shed some light on that, because my truck is the demo truck.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It just happens to be competitive. I took second place at World Finals last year in 2 classes.
That's awesome too.
Right.
Let me ask you, Brad, what do you have done as far as like cabin mods? Because I think that goes like over a lot of people's heads. So just out of my curiosity, I'd like to know what you've done, if you'd like to share about what cabin mods you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's critically important if the meter numbers are important to you. So mine's an 04 Michigan shit box. I'll be honest with you. I bought the truck for $3,000 and, you know, just went to town on it, started beating her to death, you know, find the weak spots and build them as hard as you can. But quality spray foam and quality deadener goes a long ways. If anybody's ever done a smoke test, you know, where you get a smoke machine and find the leaks on your vehicle, you're probably going to find quite a few of them in the firewall. I mean, there are places in people that don't even know that, you know, most all vehicles have cabin vents.
Yep, in the rear.
And being able to seal all of those leaks up.
I covered mine with Dynomat, and I actually lost a half a dB, a little bit more. I took that thing right off. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
But I
Really?
tried to lower it. Yes. I mean, it's not a wall. It's
Every
not a wall.
vehicle's different.
Yep. I mean, it
So,
makes sense with the
in the
wall with the
long
rear
run,
wave
though,
and the front
sealing
wave,
off
but
those
like a
cabin
hatchback.
vents are critical.
Yeah. You got to clog up your firewall port too, you know.
Speaking of firewall port,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've got a ripped firewall in the Excursion at this point.
Oh, that's just an extra port.
Likely.
Yeah. We were at the last show too, and like a dash mount broke off and fell on the floor in like this person's feet while they was giving a demo, and it was like shaking the master cylinder so hard it like literally emptied the master cylinder. So I'm like,
Damn.
sweet. And obviously, to Chris at Limitless, he obviously taught me a lot about this stuff from the ground pounder vehicle they have. But the thing that sucks about that is I'm not going to fix it till the windshield pops, to be honest with you, dude, because you got to take the windshield and the dash out to fix the firewall problem. So it's like when the windshield goes, that's when we'll address it. You know what I mean? Because believe it or not, actually, depending on where that rip's at, it can kind of make me score a little higher in the kick. but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it could be helping you. It could be helping.
Could be for sure. I'm just worried too,
Yeah,
though.
in the long run, though, the more sealed you can get your cabin in the long run, you know, even when we do experience a slight loss here and there with changes, and that's why we test. But in the long run, the more solid and the more sealed we can get that cabin, it's going to pay you dividends in the end.
Right. You just got to add more
I preach
power.
this all the
that's
time, Brad.
Yeah.
I preach this all the time, and people are like, "How are you doing what you're doing with 4 subs, whatever?" And it's like, dude, it's just literally all cabin. Like it's all cabin.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I'm
I've
saying?
been in some extreme builds where you can get in the cabin and basically cough or sneeze, and it's like, oh my God, that was like almost a 50.
Yeah. I got it. What's his face? Man, I can't think of the guy's name. Chris, is it Chris Lee? What was the van?
Yeah, Chris Lee.
Chris Lee. Oh
Yes,
my God.
Dude, it was me. I like bumped my knee on like the side of the wall, and I was like, "Holy crap!" The echo was loud as crap inside that box, dude. Yeah, I was like, "That's insane."
Absolutely incredible
your hands.
sundown build.
Yeah.
I feel like the more rigid you get, though, in most cases, it's harder to play lows. You know, you're peaking at
I
32
disagree.
hertz.
Open that door.
Well, you got to add more power then. That's where the benefit. That's where you structure it, make it
Yeah.
stronger. Then you got to add more power. You know, because that's just how it works. Your efficiency might drop, but if you got a class that you don't have any power, you don't have to worry about power. The only thing you have to worry about is how much your subs can handle. Then just make it stronger, add more power.
I mean, when I think it's case by case, and you can design it in a way that it goes along with the cabin mods, but you'll never play it as low as you would with a solid, rigid cabin as you would like a loose, just like kind of stop cabin. You know what I'm saying?
So
It's
much
with
more
authority.
tone control.
With
Right,
authority.
because there could be what is it, like cancellation because of the flex, and then whatever frequency you're playing, there could be that absolutely.
You're echoing.
I never started playing low until. Sorry, can you hear me? I never started
We can hear
playing
you now.
low. Okay, I never really got low in my no wall in my Tahoe until I like really started foaming stuff and deadening stuff, and then the wood roof and all that. And then it was smashing. Yeah.
I
Same
feel like
thing
if
here.
I stiffened anything, I would lose, at least with mine.
That's Casey. Before we did my
It's pretty
truck,
wild.
when it was even when the wall was in it, before we foamed and dead and everything, if I tried to play in the 20 hertz range, it just sounded like the truck was ripping itself apart, dude. It was like it was not. Yeah, people that like flex like whoa, and you're like, dude, no, this is I can't do this long, like but and then now I add how many gallons of foam on the roof, but it I gained wind. What's crazy about mine though is that it really gets wind, especially like, again that 20 to 29 range. It likes being completely opened up and stuff like that. And I never have a problem again unless I'm playing below 20. Like people can open doors and stuff like that. You know, I don't ever have an issue or anything either. But
Right.
Yeah.
I still don't like me being full tilt at 20 something hertz. Someone who's like opening a door like, whoa, where did the bass go real fast? Yeah.
I do not demo sealed up.
Mm-hmm.
Can't.
You like kill the truck, it'd be ruined.
It's
Yeah.
just way too scary. I mean, it's a lot of power going on in there, and it's scary and violent. Given a demo, especially when you're on your third or fourth or fifth demo, when you got a line, I mean, it's scary. I know that I find my limits by breaking things, but it does get expensive.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
the only way you really know, you know.
Yeah, it's the only way to know the limit is to actually find it.
Yeah.
Dude, and those going back to, you know, like Casey, you can do a 60 plus, and man, like I sat in his truck for a sealed. I've demoed his truck with windows down, doors open tons of times, but I mean, dude, I did a burp at it with the passenger door closed and the window up. I felt my brain move, dude. I'm not even joking. I'm like, I've said it before, like I've never in my life felt my brain move. I don't like.
I need to get over there.
Mayam dublam legato.
Yeah, dude, I felt a vein on this side of my head and like rolling. I felt like my brain moving my skull. I'm like, nope, I'm good, dude. I appreciate it. You know, like, yeah.
That's real flex in there where your brain you. I can't.
It's probably the window slapping you in the head.
It probably
Yeah.
it could have been the glass. Yeah, it was moving at the speed of sound.
It's
And it was
ridiculous.
shortly after his truck like literally launched a side mirror, like literally just like flew it off the truck. But
Oh, yeah.
I hate when people are like, some people are, because they're used to the old kind of competition and higher frequency, like DB drag, where it's like sealed up, and they're like, well, "What's your sealed score?" And it's like, "What's your outlaw
Who
score?"
cares?
You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like my type of build, like what we build, lower frequencies, anything below 45 hertz, it's going to do naturally better with an outlaw, like door open kind of
Yep.
score.
Yep.
Just is.
They go
And
hand in
it-
hand.
Yep.
well, I mean, just like I'm assuming Casey's the same way, and Brad's. I'm sure my truck's nasty at 45, 50 hertz. It'll hurt you, dude. But I don't like playing that. I don't even want to play it. Not only that, you get hot fast and all that stuff. I can play 20 hertz all day. The stuff never get, they never get stinky or anything like that. You start throwing 45, 50 in the mix. A, it doesn't feel comfortable for you to sit there for a long time. I don't want to do it. And B,
Yeah.
it's not what people want to hear, dude. They want to win.
I was dying at Dublin,
no.
dude. I'm like, I'm going
That's
to get
getting
outside of this thing. Yeah.
That's like that build I heard this weekend. My local guy Joby. Last time I heard him, he was doing a
Joby's
63 at
loud.
25 hertz. Now he's doing a 68 at 47, and it's just. I got in that, and he only was giving me 166. He was wired up, but that was all I needed to hear. I got it for about 6-7 seconds, and like my eardrum was just like bottoming out. Like it was bad, and like you couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. You're waiting for the beat to stop to take in a breath. I was like, man, this is just too high of a frequency and too loud. And his is built for SPL. It's
On 3
solid.
drivers.
Yep, 315's doing
It's
68.
incredibly impressive what he's done.
Yep,
crazy.
he's come a long way, man. I've known him for a long time. Long time.
I want to see Chase Breedwell and Jobby in the lanes. Heads up.
I know. Chase is local to me too, man. Both of them. I sat in Chase's a long time ago, probably 4 years ago. But he's
Yeah.
got a lot louder too, because he's doing what, 65, 66, something like that, or is he even
I
louder?
can't speak for him, but I know both of those builds are at least 65 capable, and who knows how much higher.
Damn. Stupid.
insane,
And his
yeah.
his
I'd
is
love
still
to see
playing
him
lows
side
too.
by I think that would be very exciting.
Yeah.
Said you're
Both super people too. Both nice guys.
Oh,
Brad,
yeah.
you're a Michigan guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Dave here is too. Heck yeah.
Dave.
But yeah, it's insane, man. I like seeing. I enjoy those builds, but man, I don't want to sit in the crazy extreme vehicles long, bro. I like my 50s. I like giving demos, but that's just not my lane, bro. It's just not it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I just respect all the work, but I like if I can do 60s, or at least a 60 from a C pillar, I'm gonna be happy as all get out.
Hey, 60 from the C pillar is no easy task, and anyone that can do it gets my respect.
Well, I appreciate that. It's been, again, it's just me neglecting the dead and stuff, and then finally I drag ass and dead and stuff, get embraced more, and then
He's got. I'm gonna just call Scott out here just so he can like get motivated to work on something. He only put like a couple sheets of deadener and one back door.
no, the front
That's
door's
what
not
it
dead
is.
there. Yeah,
Well, like
I
2
was
sheets.
testing.
Yeah, 2 sheets. Brad, you know that doesn't do anything.
I can't.
How many square feet of deadener do you have in your door, Fred?
Not enough.
How many do you think you
I was
have?
gonna say, whenever you do your deadener, do you like meter it and kind of see if it helps or hurts? Because you do park and pound.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mine actually hurt my score a little bit, but it sounded so much better.
I'm a firm believer that the Term Lab is the absolute ultimate tool any bass head can have, especially if you're a competitor. And every change has a cascading effect on other aspects of your build. So test.
I like
Right
that
in your
word,
book.
cascading. I'm gonna have to use that. I like that.
It really does.
It goes hand in hand too, man. It's kind of funny too, you know, as the distribution side, and as we grow in retail, you know, you get people ask questions of the electrical system, stuff like that all the time. And I just had this gentleman that was just dumbfounded the other night, and he's like, "Man, do I need to get a battery? Do I need to get an alternator? I'm trying to." You know, he's trying to get like an SFB 5K. He's like, "What should I do first?" And he's like, "Which one's more important?" I'm like, "Both. Dude, they're equally important, bro. Like, if anything, I was like, bro, if you have to, don't get the SFP 5. I'd love to sell you this amp, but it was like, if you can't support this thing and we're gonna blow it up and we're gonna swap it out, you're gonna be pissed. Stack
It's
your
a
money
recipe
up
for failure.
Exactly. So I was like, bro, let's get you an alternator and your battery setup first that can support that and more, actually. That way you have an upgrade path. And dude, rock your 1200 watt amp or whatever you've got right now. Stack it up a little bit longer. You've got bass right now, and I'm not trying to ramble on it, but it's like, you know, he was literally dumbfounded. I was telling him, like, which is a good thing. In the long run, he will obviously, if he stays in the community, you'll see like, oh, this guy was right. But I'm like, man, I'd love to sell you this amp, but you know, if you can't, you know, we've got to get this thing covered first. That way you're gonna be able to support it. And we've talked about it before. Yeah, it's like a lot of people don't realize too. You know, whether it be Tear amps or the SFPs or, you know, SIA, any other full bridge, Stetson, or whatever it be, the money you're saving on the whether it be full bridge topology or just an inefficient amplifier out of the box, period, either be Class D or AB, whatever, you're going to spend the more money out of the box supporting that out of your electrical system than you are spending the extra money on more efficient amplifier or subwoofers and stuff like that out of the box.
100%.
And then you got to buy deadener? Oh.
Yeah.
As long as you don't care what it
really
sounds
loud
like on
for
the
the
outside, who
retailers.
needs deadener? Sorry.
I didn't hear you, Brad. Sorry.
I wish that more retailers in our community felt the same way to give the right advice to consumers, because there are shops out there I know that will happily sell that 5K to a guy and, you know, on a stock alternator and only under the hood battery, and they just don't understand, like what you said, how important it is to have that electrical to run these larger power amplifiers.
Yep.
And I really, really can't stress it enough to get that message out to these retailers across the country. Instead of worrying about that quick buck, you know, how about build a relationship with a client?
I was about to say that, dude.
One time customer.
Did I sell this guy a $700 amp that day? No. I sold him a $250 battery. I sold him some wire. He got him an amp install kit. I've won that guy as a customer, dude, and he's going to trust me and show that. I mean, it's the same thing Casey does all the time when they do stuff at Crush Customs. Show the customer. You know, like, he has guys that take in, they're like, hey, I got this crappy radio. And you're like, bro, you don't want to install this radio. You're like, we're going to put this beautiful sound system around this source unit that you don't want. Well, in the long run, guess what happens? Like, they're like, oh man, we should have listened. And like, the end product being so much better, beautifully coming together, it's worth it. And then you've won this person as a customer for, you know, however long. You're their go-to person.
All the time. We have a lot of repeat customers, man, that just like only will come to us, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
We're putting a blow through in a Jeep Gladiator in a couple weeks.
Yeah. All Sunday
Like,
too.
and he spent like tens of thousands of dollars. Like he's got door pods on a Jeep that are removable. He's got outside speakers. He's got subs, amps. I mean, all kinds of stuff, man. This thing's an insane build.
Yeah, and like I mean, the Crush Customs is his go-to thing. You know, I mean, like that's where he gets audio done and all that stuff because he knows you guys aren't going to bullcrap him and all that stuff and take care of him, and he's going to get a crazy end result. You know what I mean? And that truck's loud now, even with those JL shallow subs under the seat, with the doors and the sound bar out back. The thing is, dude, it's loud packing, dude. That thing is almost crazy to stand behind, dude. And it's like all SDX power and stuff like that. It's got what 1,200 watts on the all 20 speakers, 18 speakers, something like that.
It's got an SDX 6 channel and an SDX 2 channel, and then it's got a PDX V9 for like the inside stage for when you have everything else turned off. So you have like something nice sounding. I forget what speakers we put in there, but it sounds pretty good. And it's got an Alpine restyle in it, so it's got a really good source unit. Those restyles are really good, yeah. Really good.
A non-scientific fact is if you have your mids and highs keeping up with your bass is just naturally going to sound louder. Now, the meter is going to tell you different, but it will sound louder and sound better. 100%.
The experience, the listening pleasure of a properly balanced audio system.
Yep.
That's one thing I love on mine too. Believe it or not, I tell people all the time, they just think, which I do bass a lot too, but there's so much times that I enjoy having such a beautiful sounding front soundstage. I have those subs just barely cracked, or they just accent the doors and just enjoy it, dude. You know what I mean? Like a classic rock, all that stuff that you can just add just a little bit of punch to that, just wasn't there, even though it isn't musically accurate of what the song sounded like.
Yes.
You just
Kickstart My Heart, dude. Motley Crue.
Dude, the first time my dad had that Lightning Audio Nissan 200SX and all this stuff and all the Strike stuff in it, the first time I heard AC/DC Thunderstruck with subwoofers, it blew my freaking mind, dude. I was like, what is going on right now? This is AC/DC. And then, it just goes from there.
I can't.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's altogether just entirely an exciting and passionate hobby sport to be involved in. For me, I like to describe it like this: it has the glory of victory and the agony of defeat, possibly in the same minute.
Heck yeah, I agree completely. And it was funny too, though. Like, Rob, I like either Vibroflex is good stuff. I'm really loving the Sundown Deadener too, dude. We've been using it a lot.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I know what kind I don't like. Do not use that rubber roof cement. It does not come off easily, and it doesn't work very well.
No. Yeah, probably try not to do that.
It's only $11 a foot, or like for 12 feet. It's cheap. Yeah, I tried that. It works, I guess, for the budget, but it doesn't stick very well on the roof, even with the heat gun, because it's tar. It's not regular sound dampening
not
stuff.
For car audio application.
I'm gonna try getting some of that bulk Sundown Deadener you buy in the big sheets, and you have to heat it and roll it in like the.
Yep.
I'm trying to get some of that and just do my floor, man.
That's
I want
to.
I want to change my carpet, so it's like when we take the carpet out, till the floor. I don't have any floor flex in the front, but dude, my back.
Yeah, we need to take one day after work this week and just do your doors.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
at least.
It'll be good for it too. Because what we're gonna do too is like a lot of my shops that aren't carrying Sundown Deadener, I'm gonna get them some samples together. So I'm gonna take, let's say we do my doors. If I have 4 sheets left, I'm gonna cut them up into slices. And like my dealers, I do a delivery. Like, here you go. Here's some, sample of Sundown Deadener. See if you like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And obviously they will and they'll buy it. Obviously because it's great shit. But I mean so that's what we're gonna take an opportunity next time we needed it. Make some samples too to give other people.
Yeah, great idea.
Dude,
I love sound dampening, dude. It's the best thing in the world.
Well, not only that too, it's crazy to see.
A big difference.
Even on as far as the retail side of it too, is there's so much stuff that audio shops leave off of the table that is really needed stuff in the installation that they're not providing to the customer that their stereo system needs. B, the stuff that they're not selling, that's money they're missing out on. Like how much? Do you know how many of these shops don't get? Yeah, they don't get any kind of deadener treatment, stuff like that. Like you're not getting wire ferrules, heat shrink, stuff like that. Like spend the extra cost and time and all that stuff in it, and give that customer a product that they're going to show to people, and people are going to be impressed and want to go to you. You know what I mean? And I'll give Casey credit on that, dude. Everything is Tesla tape, got ferrules on it, nice heat shrink connectors, crimps. You're not going to find a wire popping out from under a freaking a trim panel or something like that from one of Casey's installs. But and that's where it's a different skill level too, man, which I'm not trying to, just me ramble on. I had a guy today that's a good resale customer, and he's asking about doing an install, and I'm like, really, that's not one of our things right now. He wants me to, cut Focal put flax 6.5s in front of his Audi, a brand new Audi. I'm like, bro, your Tahoe, where we can put a box in the back of it and put pods or kick panels and all that stuff in it, versus cutting holes in your brand new Audi, that's 2 completely different ballparks of an installation. Like, I was like,
no pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do it, dude. Let me go.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll get your door panel off, but I was like, that trim will never lay flat ever again, and I'm not going to Audi to get replacement clips. Yeah. Man.
Practice on your car first,
Yeah, I was like, bro, I'll take your Tahoe door panel off with a butter knife. Let's go, dog. Like, But,
it's so true.
Dude, some of those Audi and Mercedes and BMW, those door panels are a bitch.
I'm not straight up, dude. Yeah, and they got hand stitched leather that's tucked and wrapped and all that stuff. And you gotta know, most of these cars they have the dealer can look up let's say they got a R&R a speaker or something like that. They've got an actual I can't think of the name of the program now. It shows them a step-by-step thing from the manufacturer of how to the assembly process and disassembly process. If you don't have that stuff, bro, you're just flying in the dark.
Figured out. I just figured out, dude. Some of them have like 2 or 3 different torque sizes, and then they got a 10 mil and a 7 mil, and then you have like these weird clips. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, Casey's in there with like a quarter-inch drive. He's got a tiny little ratchet, a quarter-inch drive torque set, and a trim tool. He's just kind of prying on every little thing to see if it comes up. Yeah, like,
yeah. You just find where it's harder to take out. I mean, basically, yeah. I've never had a door panel that I couldn't figure out.
Yeah. That's the difference between. I've complimented you before on it though. Like I can do fairly clean installs. Takes me the whole day, bro. Like, which I mean, like
I'm like Scott, let's go.
Yeah, I'm like I'm a butterfly. Let me fly, bro. Like let me take my time. I could never do it on a schedule to where it was, like we got to get these cars out the door, and do other stuff.
Yeah, I think half the time is hitting that vape and checking your notifications. You know what I mean?
I'm like I'm gonna watch. Yeah.
I just took this power up. Time to post it on IG.
Yeah. Dude, when I wired Casey's subs in the FI box, I was like, I wired like 4 subs and didn't have it out the box set. I'm like, look how sweet this is instead of finishing wiring.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Scott, you wired it wrong. He's like, no, I didn't. I was like, no, you got to go this. He's like, oh shit. He's like, all right, just leave me alone. And then like 3 hours later, it's done. I'm like, hell yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
I can't. Hey,
and then we blew the subs.
You don't want to have to do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
We blew the subs and the cops showed up, and.
Smoke rolling out the door.
What did you see? He said something like, I know why you're here, or something like that. He's like, no.
He's like, no, actually.
Yeah, so it's actually a cop just patrolling, and he saw like our truck back there, and we thought we had the cops called on us. So the cop pulls up, gets out, and we're already standing outside the tow. He's like, we know why you're here. And he's like, really? Why? I don't know why I'm here. I'm just cruising around, bro. And he's like, we're just testing the system, and he's like, well, let's hear it. And you're like, well, we just killed a subwoofer. So it actually,
like, I think I asked him, like, you don't smell that? Like, the smoke's like rolling out of the truck still as this cop pulls up.
Yeah. He was playing the Catch Me Outside.
The worst song.
How about that? Yeah. It was crazy.
Like 18 hertz. It really was. Yeah. Probably because I was clipping in the absolute fucking oblivion.
Yeah, that's that Salt Life though, bro. No, you weren't on Salt then, were you?
Those is 17K crescendo.
Yeah, it's about the same thing, bro. Like my 12K, it's great, but you clip it ever so slightly, it gets nasty. Like, I mean, just a slightest off clip. Yeah, it goes. Like, it's a totally different. I mean, like, and that's one thing you got to be careful when you're doing demos, because like how the tracks recorded and all that stuff, the level is all stuff be different. It's like one song I'll be full gain knob, the next one I'm clipping at 3/4 on the knob or half or whatever it be. You got to be sitting there, and I always look like I'm like paying attention to everything when I'm giving demos, not even paying attention because I'm trying to, am I smelling the subs? Am my voltage good? And I have to, my clipping or not? I'm like, so you're trying to pay attention to all this stuff, and keep an eye on things.
I'd really like to see, it's 2022, all of the manufacturers putting clip lights
on everything.
Factory.
That's one thing, going back to, like me being a distributor now and, choosing Sundown and obviously them choosing us too. I love being with a company that continues to set a standard level of expectation for quality, whether it be, standard features or proprietary stuff, cooling designs, proprietary baskets. And even from a budget standpoint, if you're using open tool baskets, putting, custom motors and soft parts behind them, and that's just on the speaker side, whether it be amplifiers with clip lights, clip protection, the quality bass sounds people want. The company that listens to the consumer and is always innovating more than the consumer thinks, dude. Like, you're just seeing Fuller's wheels turn, and like he's always 2 or 3 steps ahead of the curve. And that's one thing too. Like, there's nothing to be shy about. Like, we're fully familiar that a lot of these products get outsourced to China to get manufactured, to be a budget point or anything along those lines for cost. And they send them parts and all that stuff too. But when it goes those things, your design's gone. Okay, they have a copy of it right then. Whether if you have any kind of license right or whatever, pretty much it's stolen. But when you work for an industry and a company that continues to have revisions and versions come out and always staying ahead of it, man, it's what it's about, dude. To keep setting it up. Which I didn't just mean to make it about a Sundown burst. There's other brands for everyone doing it. Yeah, you keep it innovating.
Yep.
Sundown really is the shit.
Well, Sundown really.
There's always going to be the great value of something. Great value version.
I'm sorry, Brad. What were you saying, bud?
I mean,
you were saying knock it out of the park.
Sundown really continues to just knock it out of the park with number one, the innovation, responding to the needs of the consumer and in the competitive world. I mean, there's a reason I've been running Sundown subs since day one, and I'd like to try some other stuff, but I really have no reason, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I hear you, man. And it is part of being.
And then you might be disappointed. That's a big change for you. I mean, you got 12, 15 ZV5s. That's a lot of money. So if you're going to go get something comparable or something that is going to be like a bigger coil maybe or something like that, you're coming out of pocket a lot, just to change for a minute. And then you got to unload all your last subs. And then by the time you realize you might not like it as much, you're out all this money, and then your subs are gone. You're like, oh, shit.
I don't think that I could let them go.
Yeah,
right.
Especially
I've had
running with all them subs and all that power.
Subwoofers that
I feel like there would be so minimal gains compared to what you can find, with other brands. Like, what else is out there that could be so much better to jump ship, to change what you're doing? And like, you get a bigger coil, then you're going to need even more power, and then you're going to need bigger subs. You're going to just need a bigger car, and then what? It's like, it's just you run out of options, man.
Heck yeah.
Stay with what
there's
you got.
not enough time, or my wallet's not big enough to try all the things and the ideas that we would like to do. But the cool thing is, I do get to experience demos of other manufacturers' products and other ideas and innovative ways to have a great time and be successful in the lanes. There's I like to give demos, but I really like to get them too. And big builds, small builds, I love them all. There's just so much different tastes, and going to a show, especially a big show, you can see the entire spectrum of the community and the way that things are done. And I've never failed to go to a show and not see an idea that I've not thought of myself and think to myself, wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
For sure, man. And I love doing the same thing and seeing how people do things different. But on that note, I hate to go ahead and cut it short. Andy's got a live stream after this, so we're going to wrap this episode up, guys. Brad, we're going to have you
Brad,
back. This wasn't titled after you, but we'd like to have you back again sometime, either randomly
Love
too.
to.
But I want to do a interview one on you. Some of your earlier different setups you've had, how you got into it and stuff like that. That'd be a cool episode, I feel like.
Absolutely, that'd be a good idea. I like this guy, Brad, man. Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, it was great. I'm
Thank
glad
you
you came
very
on.
much, guys. It's been a real pleasure to be on here with you guys, and definitely look forward to doing it again.
Sick. On that note, guys, it is Friday night. I don't want to see anybody getting a drink and driving ticket out there. I'll beat your butt if you do it. Everyone have a good weekend, and I appreciate you, and we're going to get out of here. And I'm going to do it again this time. I think we're going to start doing the end.